Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, guys, you really need to sit down and pay attention because what's happening right now in the NFC West, especially with the San Francisco 49ers, could be one of those moments that define the franchise's future for years to come. The league whispers are getting louder, and what's unfolding isn't just a simple trade or a small move. It's a seismic shift, a strategic pivot that could propel the 49ers back to the Super Bowl, or, if things go wrong, expose some vulnerabilities. And all of this revolves around a couple of key players, namely Jaelan Phillips from Miami and Yetur Gross-Matos, both of whom are now in the picture for San Francisco. It's fascinating because, if you follow the 49ers closely, you know this team's identity has always been built on a dominant defense, a relentless pass rush, and a smart, versatile roster that adapts to any challenge. And right now, it seems like they're making moves to reinforce exactly that. What's intriguing about this situation is how the Dolphins, who are currently sitting at a disappointing 1-5 after an underwhelming start, are actually in a bit of a tanking mode, especially after their quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has struggled. His PFF score of 75.3, combined with the team's overall 1-5 record, signals they're in a rebuild or at least a strategic reset. They're willing to part with players like Phillips, who's been a bright spot for Miami, especially given his recent performance and potential. Phillips, drafted in 2021 out of Miami, has really established himself as one of the premier young pass rushers in the league. He's a former Pro Bowler from 2022 and was rated in the top 30 by PFF for pass rush last year, and his 2025 stats show why. He's amassed 17 tackles solo with 7 sacks and has a pressure rate that puts him among the elite at his position, top 10 in pressures, win rate, hurry rate, and more. His pressure rate of 14%, for example, is top 15 in the league, and his pressures total of 75 ranks him in the top 10. And let's not forget, Phillips is no stranger to injuries. He recovered from an Achilles injury in 2024 and had a knee issue that cost him a game earlier this year. But when he's healthy, he's a game changer. Think of him as a Von Miller-like presence, with burst, speed, and the ability to disrupt even the best offensive lines. His career stats are impressive, 35 sacks and 50 tackles for loss, with a bend-arc win rate of around 60%. His EPA versus the run is also notable, sitting at -0.12, which means he's a well-rounded threat that can pressure the quarterback and clog running lanes. His performance against the Bills in Week 3 with 5 pressures and a sack just reinforces what kind of impact he can have. Now, the Dolphins, on the other hand, are in a bit of a tricky spot. Their defensive line, especially their pass rush, has been underwhelming, ranking 29th in sacks with just 30 total, which is a big reason why their pass defense is so porous, allowing 18 points per game, which is the 5th worst in the league. They're in a situation where they're trying to develop young players in the secondary, and they're prioritizing draft picks to rebuild that unit. Trading Phillips makes sense for them, especially considering their AFC East rivals like the Bills and Jets are stacking up on talent. But this isn't just about losing a talented edge rusher, it's about the risk involved. When you lose a player like Phillips, you could see a drop in your pass rush productivity, an estimated 12% decrease in pressures, similar to what we saw with the Raiders after they lost Max Crosby. That's a significant hit, especially when you consider how critical pass rush is in today's NFL, where mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray can extend plays and cause chaos. This is where the 49ers come into the picture with a clear strategy. They're all in for this season, especially as the trade deadline approaches. Their defense, which has been solid this year, is now projected to get a serious upgrade with Phillips joining the ranks. Imagine a front four with Nick Bosa out since September, Fred Warner on injured reserve, and now Phillips ready to step up and fill that void. The impact could be enormous. If Phillips performs anywhere close to his best, we're talking about a boost of around 10 sacks for the team, which would elevate their overall pass rush grade into the high 80s or even the low 90s. This would translate into a significant increase in sacks per game, from around 3 to potentially 4-5. That's a game changer, especially when you consider how much the 49ers rely on their front seven to set the tone on defense. And speaking of the defense, let's look at how Phillips can elevate the entire unit. When paired with someone like Hargrave, who already has 5 sacks in 2025, Phillips's presence can draw double teams and free up others. It's a classic Shanahan move, building a defense that's not just about individual talent, but about creating a cohesive, relentless pass rush that can dominate in the playoffs. The numbers speak for themselves. Phillips vs. Floyd, for example, can generate an extra 1-5 pressures per game, and his ability to absorb double teams can reduce the completion percentage when quarterbacks are under pressure by around 15%. All these factors contribute to a much more intimidating defense that can turn games around in a matter of seconds. And this strategic move could have ripple effects beyond just the regular season. The 49ers, with this upgraded pass rush, are now seen as even more serious contenders for Super Bowl LXI. Their odds to win the title, which earlier hovered around plus 600, have now dropped to plus 300, making them one of the favorites in the NFC, now favored over other teams like the Eagles or Cowboys. The key is the edge rush, getting to the quarterback, disrupting their rhythm and forcing turnovers. Phillips becomes that X factor, especially in the playoffs, where every possession counts and pressure on the QB can make or break a game. Imagine a rematch against the Rams, where the 49ers could apply even more pressure with Phillips, or a showdown against mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, where his speed and relentless pursuit could be the difference. Now, it's not just about the immediate impact, it's about the long-term vision. The 49ers are clearly looking to reinforce their defense for a sustained run, aiming for a dynasty. They've been building this roster with that goal in mind, and acquiring Phillips signals a commitment to maximizing this window of opportunity. And for the Dolphins, it's a calculated risk. They're likely aiming to accumulate draft capital and develop their young secondary, even if it means sacrificing some pass rush productivity in the short term. But for the 49ers, this is about taking that step into the next level, making sure that their defense remains dominant and unpredictable. With Phillips, they're adding a player who can change the course of games, especially in the playoffs, and that's what separates good teams from great ones. Looking ahead, the stakes are high. The odds for the 49ers to win Super Bowl LXI, which were once at plus 600, now look even more promising at plus 300. This trade could be the turning point that pushes them from being strong contenders to outright favorites. Their defense, already formidable, now has that extra gear, an edge rush that can harass even the most mobile of quarterbacks, boost their defensive EPA, and tilt the balance of the playoff picture in their favor. Shanahan's genius, combined with a defense that's now bolstered with Phillips, makes the 49ers a team to watch closely in the coming months. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this bold move? Do you believe Phillips will be the difference maker in the playoffs? Are you confident that this defensive upgrade will bring another Super Bowl to Levi's Stadium? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters, not just to us, but to the entire 49ers community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, analysis, and news on your beloved team. So stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let's see how this story unfolds. This is more than just a trade. It's a statement of intent from the 49ers, a clear message that they're pushing all their chips in and aiming for nothing less than another championship run. Thanks for watching, and as always, go 49ers.